All interlocutors we talked to expressed their gratitude for the role Turkey played with the United Nations on grain. They said they trust Turkey under the leadership of President Erdogan. Turkey has become a global actor. We will evaluate this in a constructive way and will strive for peace and tranquility for both our region and the world.
I'm joined now by Tarik Oguzlu from Istanbul. He is a professor of international relations at Istanbul Aydin University. Professor, I'd like to get your thoughts on the significance of this, not only that this deal was able to be reached, but it has so far been successful in that the warring sides have followed through on their commitments.
I think we are at a very critical, important point in the context of the war in Ukraine. And many other countries, especially the ones in the global south, are suffering from the negative consequences of this ongoing war. And many international actors have been putting a strong degree of pressure on the parties on the field to find a kind of solution to their standoff. So as part of the efforts of the international community to pressure the countries to come to a kind of agreement, this deal that was signed in Istanbul 2 weeks ago has proved to be quite influential and important. So maybe the Russians and Ukrainians coming together under the auspices of the United Nations and under strong encouragement of Turkish authorities to sign this agreement might actually lead the parties to intensify their maybe behind the curtain negotiations in terms of finding an everlasting solution to this war. So from this particular perspective, I find this ongoing traffic, I think the deal on grain exporting, shipment of grain from Ukrainian ports to Lebanon, for example, today, and this particular ships will also reach out to other countries in the coming days. So this is a very important sign in terms of encouraging all of us to push the parties for a kind of agreement. And this also signals that the international community is fed up with this ongoing war in Ukraine because the longer the war lasts, the higher economic and political consequences, right, especially the countries in the global south. So they should be quite happy with this particular shipment, for example, today's shipment.
Right. What are the expectations of what this might lead to if these grain shipments from Ukraine continue to be successful, such as a potential ceasefire down the road? And what role can Turkey play in all of that?
Actually, Turkey has been playing a very constructive and encouraging role for the last 4 to 5 months since the war began in late February. So under Turkish auspices, the parties came together to talk to each other about the details of any potential solution process. So far, at least it seems that Turkish efforts bear some fruits. So we have this grain deal on the ground. So I am really confident and optimistic in terms of this deal encouraging the parties to intensify their talks. Otherwise, it wouldn't mean anything because any kind of crisis that might occur in the context of military skirmishes might negatively affect this particular grain deal. So for the grain deal to succeed, for the grain deal to produce some positive outcomes, the parties should find a solution to their geopolitical crisis, geopolitical conflict. So the pressure on Russians and Ukrainians should intensify. This is quite important. This is quite critical for the whole community.
Yeah, and how critical can Turkey be in all of this? Because as we know, there isn't much trust in Ukraine for any promises that Russia makes. For example, the day after this grain deal was reached, Russia attacked the port city of Odessa. So how can Turkey navigate that complication there in mediating continued efforts for diplomacy?
I think if the parties to the conflict avoids their promises or negates on their promises, this would somehow negatively affect their relations with Turkey. So we should not forget the fact that Turkey has good relations with both Russia and Ukraine, and Turkish authorities have invested a lot in this treaty. So Turkey's credibility is also in one way or another at stake. So the party which would not object, which would not comply with the terms of the treaty would likely antagonize Turkey in one way or another. So this might cause a kind of tension in their relations with Turkey. And I think none of them would want to be appearing in such kind of a situation. So if not Turkey, the other point I need to underline, if not Turkey, which other country might might enter the picture here and encourage the parties to find a solution to this problem. I don't even think of China, I don't even think of India or any other country, because it is only Turkey that has good relations with these countries. And it has become quite clear to us because President Erdogan and Putin have talked to each other numerous times in recent days. So I think this is also important for another reason. If they do not keep their promises to comply with the terms of the agreement, the international community might put the blame on the party that will not comply with the terms. So this is a great risk. They don't want to take such kind of risks anymore.
Okay. Tarik Oguzlu, Professor of International Relations at Istanbul Aydin University. Thank you.